Hello Mallards, it is Saturday. I am in Tampa, well, Ybor City technically. I just passed some chickens. I should show them to you. Today I promise I will at some point show you chickens. But I am on my way to Fringe Central because I forgot the one thing that I actually needed for today, which is my artist pass. So I'm gonna go see if they'll give me another one. And then I'm gonna wander around, invite people to shows, and I'm gonna go see shows, and I'm gonna go be in a show. And it's going to be an exciting Saturday. I promised you that today I would be a better person and get you chicken footage. So I present chickens. Ybor City's chickens, just for you. And chicks. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, yeah, whatever. All right, so I haven't been back with you all day because I've just run from show to show to show to show, and also just talking to people, trying to convince them to come to the war, which has been a blast. I've met a lot of people. I've had a really good time. I'm really enjoying my time at Tampa Fringe, but I thought it was time that we come and talk about the lovely shows that I have seen. So I started my day by seeing Trans-Masculine Cabaret starring Vulva Vavoom. You may remember I saw Vulva Vavoom at Winter Mini Fringe in January, a different show of theirs. This one was heartbreaking. It was a very personal journey and story about being non-binary, and I really loved it. I really like their sense of humor, and I like the way that they step in and out during their show. So their show has a mixture of like audio cues and actual speaking. There's some cabaret singing, but there's also like moments of like in the story and out with the audience, and the flow between those is really interesting. And also the way that they use the audio to like fill in time while they're doing something. For example, they're getting ready for their drag king show, so they need to put on all that makeup. And so instead of talking to us while that's happening, there's a recording of their voice playing, having a conversation or some interviews. They have this heckler character. So it's things like that, and they sort of play back and forth, which I really enjoyed. I thought that the show was beautifully done, and I think that they are a very, very talented performer who I could watch for ages. And also, bonus, they're a great human. Great to hang out with, great to spend time with. I had a wonderful time. And then I performed in Fringens and Flagons, which I can't recommend enough. You know that at Orlando Fringe I saw every single one of those shows because everyone is different, because the characters are different, the story is different. I played a Halloween themed warlock, hence the nails, the makeup. I had a little lantern, I had Halloween themed dice. So a warlock whose patron was Spirit Halloween. She thought she was going to be the patron of the spirit of Halloween. Things didn't work out well, so Spirit Halloween the store. It was a blast. We had a lot of fun. We were in this weird apartment complex. We fought art, and then eventually it turned out that it had all been orchestrated by Blockbuster to take back all of the Spirit Halloweens. So it was very validating for me personally. Super, super fun. They have another show tomorrow. You should absolutely check it out. And then I hopped over to the other building and saw The Sackwool, which is a sequel. I think there's maybe a subtitle. Let's find out. The Sackwool Sponsored Superhero, which is a sequel to The Sack, which I saw both at Orlando Fringe and then again at Winter Mini Fringe because I loved it so much, which is a one-man superhero origin story show. And so this was a sequel where it's like what his next steps are. And it still has the Sack and his brother, all of his physical manifestations of the characters that I loved so much. And it also develops an interesting storyline where he's got like a guy who's really into him and trying to emulate the Sack, but he's kind of nuts and like beating people up, you know, doing that thing superheroes don't do. He's like killing people for jaywalking and littering, which is peak comedy. And so that was really fun. I thought the physicality of it is still on point. He's an incredible performer. I like his vocal choices. I like his physicality. And he keeps me engaged for 60 minutes when it's just him narrating a story, essentially. There's a little bit of dialogue play as the characters, but it is largely a narrative piece, and I'm still hooked the whole time. And so was the whole rest of the audience. That show was sold out, people were lit, we were all having a lot of fun, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. I know he has one more show tomorrow too. So if you're in Tampa and you have a chance, you absolutely need to come and check it out. It's so fun. And I don't know, it's really nice for me to just enjoy humor. And yes, I am a sucker for superhero content. I fully admit that. And I will not apologize for it. And then I came back over here to this side. I am at the HCC Performing Arts Building, which is where we perform. It's where I'm seeing most of the shows. And I saw Stroke of Genius. And that show is a stroke of genius. It is essentially an opening class for a class on pantomime masturbation. So it is the idea that you're in this college course that is studying the art of masturbation, but as performance art in theater or as art, that sort of thing. It's a mixture between like a TED Talk and like a really awkward professor conversation, but it is hilarious. It's also like the run that we watched was only like 45 minutes, so it's a shorter show, and it was just roll on the ground levels of hilarity. Definitely, I think the funniest thing that I have seen so far. Just hit after hit after hit, laugh after laugh after laugh. The performer, ooh, shows are finishing over there. It's gonna get loud. The performer is very charismatic, really entertaining, and he draws you in a way that was really cool and that I super enjoyed. I was very impressed by it at every moment, and I just had a good time. That is the theme of Tampa Fringe today. I had a good time. And then the last show that I went to see was called I Love Liz. It is a show by Project Number 19, who are friends of mine from Orlando. They actually performed the show at the Ren, but it was at a time that I couldn't go, so I was delighted to be able to see it here at Tampa Fringe. I Love Liz was so fun. It is a sort of Lysistrata adaptation, but set in like an I Love Lucy sitcom sort of world. And one of the coolest things is that they do the whole thing in black and white. So they put a black and white background up, and then they all do body paint to make themselves grayscale, which I thought was really cool. It's a really neat visual, and it really adds to the atmosphere. And then they play it very much like you're watching an I Love Lucy style taping or comedy show, but it is that sort of Lysistrata, like the women want better situation, and so they withhold things from the men. And I really liked it too. It was a really cute show, and it was really fun. The performers are so good. I loved all the characterizations. The girl who plays Liz was phenomenal. I also really liked Connie. I liked all the women. They were all very enjoyable. And the one guy was fine too. Like, he's a very great actor, but you know, it's Lysistrata, so like, men. And I just had an enjoyable time in that one too. And it's a story that I really enjoy. Like, I like the story of Lysistrata, so that was cool to see. And that is what I've seen so far today. And now I'm gonna head into my last show of Tampa Fringe here, and I will talk to you when I get out. I just finished seeing the final show that I'm seeing today at Tampa Fringe. I went to Breakneck Romeo and Juliet, which was a delightful time. Tim Mooney is always fantastic, and every time I watch him do Shakespeare, I learn new things. For example, Romeo and Juliet takes place over only 5 days, which is insane if you actually take some time to think about it. Those kids were going super fast through literally everything. Sorry for the sneeze, probably won't edit it out. I also learned that wherefore art thou Romeo doesn't mean where is Romeo, it means why are you Romeo? Like, why are you a Montague, which I thought was really interesting. A thing I learned today. The show is fantastic. He also has another show tomorrow. Everything that I went to see today, you could go see tomorrow. And you absolutely should check out all of the Tampa Fringe shows. It's a blast here. The venues are only like a 7-minute walk apart, and it's a nice area. The people have been really nice. Everybody who's part of this festival is incredible. The performers are very talented. Fringe is fun, y'all. And I feel like this really, even though we performed Thursday and that was fun, this has really like kicked off Fringe for me, because seeing shows and getting to pitch my show to other people and like seeing performers is really what kicks it into gear for me. So I have had a really fun time at Tampa Fringe. I'm excited to be back to perform tomorrow, and I will see you then.